While I've got the camera out, I've just come up with quite an interesting way of displaying some of these models. What I've basically done is I've installed one of these, which is a little remote controlled switch for your lights, basically, so you can make the lights come on remotely. But I thought, well, how else can I display the models? So we use the remote control to switch a supply on, which actually supplies a four-way adapter up the top there, which will put all the models on and off. So if someone wants to come and see, I can just press a button and there they are, they're all working. If I want to shut them down, it's just the same thing. That one takes a few seconds to shut down because there's capacitance on the circuit still. And that one is battery powered, which is why that one hasn't gone off. But yeah, so just a little idea if someone's making a little collection of these at home, and you think, well, how am I going to switch them all on and off, and how am I going to power them all? Well, that's just a little idea I had, and so far seems okay. Hi all, update time on the Viper. Starting to get some odd panels painted different colours now. Primary coats on. I got a little bit of shading around the engine parts, engine areas. You can see some slightly different shaded panels there. Changed the seat colour because it was all a bit sort of grey, so got a brown leather seat now instead of a grey one. Not sure if that's screen accurate, but it looked quite good. Starting to do a little bit of weathering as well as I go, but just building up slowly. In fact, what I will do, one thing I'm quite pleased with is the canopy, which I shall pop on. Basically I took the masking off, and that's what we've got. We've got a nice clear. Actually, there's a couple of little bits I just need to tidy up. But if we put the canopy in place, pilot's not in yet. We've still got to do some work on the pilot. But there you go. That's the canopy in place. So it's starting to look a bit more like this is going to be finished soon. So we can leave the not sure whether to glue the pilot in actually, or leave him loose so that he can be put in or taken out or what have you. But there's our cockpit. Shoot it against some light. All the electronics still work. I checked it a little while ago. So we're getting there. So I'm getting to a point where I can put probably a bit of a semi-gloss coat on it to sort of seal the paint, and then get some decals on there, and then do a final dull coat. So I don't think this is going to look too shiny. It wants to look fairly matte on the screen. The ones, the filming miniatures were quite a sort of matte finish. So there we go. We're getting there. Okay, update time on the Viper. We're doing decals. Most of the paint is now done. Decals are going on. I'm just using traditional method, just a bit of water. Actually, there's a little bit of fairy liquid in there because that makes it easier to slide the transfers around as you're trying to get them in position. Transfers, decals, whatever you want to call them. So we're getting there. Hi, just a little update on the dog here, K9. I've just been to pick up some aluminium lettering, which someone I know does engraving, and we had this idea of having these made up out of aluminium, and they're just stuck on temporarily for now because this panel needs a little bit of work. Needs another magnet here to pull that straight, but it's come out really well actually. Just a little update on K9 now. He's got his proper name badge. Hey everybody, it's Viper time again. We're really almost near the end of this now. All the painting is done. I've tried to put quite a little bit of detail in the engines and the little copper pipes and the metallic bits. The lighting's all done, the decals are all on. Had a little bit of trouble with the decal solution, but it's I've used it to my advantage a little bit, in as much as using it to help the initial sort of layer of weathering. It's sort of just stained the paintwork a little bit, which kind of looks like little bits of oil leak or stuff just around the bits and pieces there. So it looks quite good. It needs a bit of proper weathering anyway, but I'm thinking that I'll leave that those slight marks you get from it. I'll leave those in because it looks quite. It looks quite good from a weathering point of view. I'm going to see if I can improve that, do a little bit more weathering here and there. So we've got the cockpit is done and the canopy's pretty clear, just needs a little tiny bit of tidying up. I'm just doing some finishing touches to the pilot's helmet, and then really it's just a case of pop it onto the stand. I've built a stand for it which is ready to go pretty much. I just need to go out and buy some rubber feet for the bottom of it, and then that will lift it up just enough to allow room for the cable to come out underneath and then disappear behind a shelf or something. And then it's time to get it on the table, and I'll set up some black cloth, get the camera on a tripod, and I'll do some of those nice long exposure shots with the lighting effects like I did on the other Vipers, if you've seen those photos and videos. But it's very, very nearly done now, just a few bits and pieces left. Hey everyone, right, it's pretty much finale time. This is the Colonial Viper Mark 1. She's all finished. Just give her a quick spin round so you can see. It's got its own custom built stand now. Now what I've done that's a little bit different on this one to what I would normally do is I've come up with a different way of powering it. Basically, they're 12 volt LEDs, but I'm going to ask the client that it's built for to run it at 9 volts, so it's well inside tolerance. It should just really prolong its life for the LEDs. But what I've done is I've used these wonderful little connectors here, and basically what you can do is you can have, I don't know if I can do this with one hand, so I might have to put the camera down. Yes, I'll put the camera down. Okay, now so we're running on battery. So basically we've got, as you probably saw in the earlier videos, we've got the engine lights at the back. Oops, sorry, nearly knocked the battery off. So you've got engine lights back here. Bit of power hopefully. Yeah, not too bad. And then if we look in the cockpit, we've got some controls going on. We've also got a screen in there which will change colour. So I think that's blue at the moment, red, and then it should go green. When it's ready, in its own time, it just cycles through. There we go, so now it's gone green. And that obviously throws a little bit of light back up into the pilot's face and looks quite cool. That's it in the dark, probably a little bit too dark, but you get the idea. What is quite cool is pilot's face gets a little bit of light from it and it changes colour. Now, the other thing about this is if you don't want to run it on battery, all you've got to do is unplug this here, and then I've adapted an adapter. That's a 9-volt power adapter, and what you'll see is I've put the same connector on the other end, so it's very easily switched from battery to mains. And what I've done here is I'm using a remote controlled power adapter, so that you can just plug all your models in to that, and then it'll switch them all on together, so you don't need individual switches, which means smaller, neater bases. I'll show you actually. Okay, so we've got some models up here. We've got a little remote, and I think those two are plugged in at the moment, so if I hit the power button, they both come on. So basically that's all it is, just a power adapter thrown up there, and these two are connected onto that, and then this remote kills the power to the whole thing. The Cylon Raider takes a second or two to go to sleep because there's a little bit of capacitance in that circuit. Here's the same thing in low light. And of course you can extend that further. The only reason these two aren't on these two last ones are actually battery powered instead of mains powered. Otherwise, of course, you'd have the lock come on and go off together. So I know that War Machine took a few seconds to come on. It's supposed to. It's actually got a circuit board in there that controls the lighting display. Anyway, that's it for now. Thanks for watching.